right, for Bitcoin. Bring up the daily chart here, and you can see, sorry, this is an hourly chart. I'm not sure why that one. I want to actually open up the daily one. So we have this area right down here that's very, very strong, right? Very significant area on the daily chart that be very difficult for price to get down through. And if it does, we've got some other areas down below. We'll take a look at those probably tomorrow when I've got a little bit more time. But I just want to show you kind of bigger picture, right? This is the reason why most of these currencies dropped. We had, you saw that lesson last Friday. You can see the negative divergence here. That really showed that there was a significant course correction coming. And sure enough, dropped right down into our daily area and is now moving back up here. So for just other zones, 240-minute time frame, you can see we've got this area right above that looks very, very strong. Nothing down below. Right, you've got to get through this entire long wick right here first. So it wouldn't take anything on a 240-minute time frame until you get up into this area at 54,000. On an hourly one, you'll see this one, this first zone here, worked very, very well last night, and came right up, and I mean, very, very good trade there. The second one worked a little bit smaller profit target there, but did work as well. And now we've gone through this area, and nothing else below here on the 60-minute until we get down to that daily time frame. And again, you'll see here on the 15-minute chart, so I'm talking about just drawing these zones out and not knowing, where to necessarily put the stops and entry points at. We just poked right above this zone here, and then now price is moving back down out of it. So a very strong zone. Once we do this a few times, we'll know if we need to move stops out further on some of these lower time frames, or if this was literally just a missed trade here. But that's all that we have for Bitcoin drawing up right now. Do expect to see price drop a little bit lower, but I would be surprised if it goes through that daily zone at all. So Ethereum, good, same area here on the daily zone here chart. I'm just going to try and go through these as quickly as I can, just identifying the zones that I've already drawn up, just so you can kind of get a really good context for what the overall cryptocurrency market is doing so far. So good strong zone here. Again, wouldn't expect price to come down through here. If it does, we've got one right below it though. That would see a very strong move out of. Nothing clear on a 240-minute time frame and up on a 60-minute chart here. Again, nothing that's jumping out at me, and so we're just going to rely on that daily zone here for Ethereum. So USD, I'm tracking this one just because it's an interesting view here. Obviously, this tries to mimic the US dollar, so it's going to stay right around 1. I'm just watching these spikes. We'll do this for a while just to see if there's any useful data that we can get out of this, and potentially some very, very quick trades. If it doesn't turn out to be useful, then I'll stop tracking this one, and we'll find something else that's a little bit more helpful. So for DOT, see here on nothing, there's no other zones here. 240-minute chart, we've got one way above at 34 that we're interested in. On a 60-minute chart, though, I'll blow this one up for you. That one did come back down last night, worked out very, very well for us, and then, of course, kept coming back down. And I actually do have another zone right here that we're interested in as well, right? Because this whole area right here took out all of these pivot highs to the left. So could be very, very strong in this area here. It would definitely look to take a trade right here. Again, not a longer term one, make it a 2 or 3, maybe a 4 to 1 target, profit target there. All right. On Dogecoin, no zones at all. This one does seem to be a little bit more of an overall free fall. I'm guessing that's mostly because it's actually not based on anything. Right, so there's not going to be a whole lot. There's nothing, really foundational building this cryptocurrency up. So kind of expanding this chart out a little bit, you can see here, there's no daily zones at all down here. So nothing really that we're interested in actually tracking from a zone perspective yet. On a 4 hour, I'm seeing this one kind of jump out at me right now. The wick coming out of here is a little too long for my taste, but because just the overall weakness in this market, this still may end up being a reasonable trade. We'll watch price action as it comes back up in here on some of the smaller time frames and really get good confirmation that we could actually get a trade there. Abex, I don't think I had any zones drawn on this one at all yet. Although this one has a little bit of, it's a little bit stronger than some of the other ones, but yeah, nothing that I've got right now. I'll keep taking a look at a lot of these throughout the day today, and so we might have some more zones to look at tomorrow when we get through here. So we got Shibu here, and we saw that we got really good movement off of this daily chart, this daily zone here, and actually would have hit our target here. And then as prices come back down again, we did punch through here. But just I'm keeping this one on here just to, again, so I can track to see what we really want to do with the stop market orders that we put in, if they need to be tight in or if they really do extend out more. No other zones here that I'm interested in looking at. On a 240-minute chart, you can see we've got this one right above here that if this weakness continues to stay in, I really like this zone here. If price continues to drop and then as it's coming back up, if it changes trend, we wouldn't take this. So this has to be a with the trend trade. Matic, we had really good areas here on the daily chart. It came down a few days ago and really respected this area here. Set a new all-time high. Had negative divergence, so we were expecting this correction down. But I would be surprised if price gets all the way back down through these areas here. There's a lot of strength in these daily zones. Nothing else on here that I'm interested in. So CRO. Look at any zones drawn at all on this one. Still looking at it. Still trying to find what does constitute a good zone here. We'll look for some more on those tomorrow. WBTC. Same thing here. I don't have any zones drawn for this one, so we're still trying to kind of dig into a couple of these a little bit more until we can actually find ones that we think fit. Actually, now that I'm looking at this one, I do see something on a 240-minute chart. So you've seen this formation now a few times, right? Where you've got on a 240-minute chart, you've got this zone in this area right here, but the really long wick coming out of it. So that worries me a little bit, especially a wick longer than the base candle or the leg candle coming out. So we'll just monitor this, watch for it, and again we'll track it, and then after enough zones we can track, we can start putting in some good rules for these. Litecoin, nothing significant on here at all. Again, we have this. Most of these we have this really the same area in the 240-minute chart. This one looks better because the wick doesn't extend out as far. So this is a little bit more of a stronger zone right here. And let's see here, Uni, I've got nothing here. And the reason why, so just some of these just kind of jumps out at you right away. This wick that came all the way down here, this big one, there's literally nothing you can trade until this thing gets taken out. So we're not going to have any good higher time frame context for something like this until that goes away. See Algo, I don't have any zones drawn here either. Link, nothing here. BCH, let's just blow this one up here real quick because this is Bitcoin Cash, right? Yeah, there we go. And so we've got to come down and take out this wick here. There's just these types of wicks just put too much uncertainty in this, and it takes away, you know, all the high probability trades that you can get here. Going to UST. This is another one that we'll have to watch. It just doesn't look like it's going to lend itself to a supply and demand trading strategy. So we'll watch it for a while. Again, if any of these that just really don't fit that because they're too spikier, they're not, you know, they're trying to like match something like the US dollar. Those are not going to end up being good trading ones. We won't spend too much time on them. But just because their market caps are very high, we wanted to just start with that. That's how you weed these things out. It's how you figure out what we can actually trade and what we can't. XLM's got a really good zone here on the 60-minute time frame, like right above this white space that it's creating right now. And look left, you've got some really good indicators that price does change direction in those areas. So that could be a potentially good one. And then we'll finish off here. Again, this is another one of these ones where it's trying to match something, and chances are we'll watch these for a couple of weeks and then probably take them off of our list so we can focus on ones that we can actually use. So flip over to our crypto holdings right now within the Double Dog Day Trade group, and a couple of them we've already looked at here, so I won't double those. But we've got AMP, and again, this is one of the ones that we may end up not tracking. I think this is one of we got a few dollars of this through doing the free training on the Coinbase app. So some of these are a result of either like you know, a reward that you get, or you know, the training that you can go through and get free crypto. So we'll try and split those off as we do the reporting on this, so you know which ones we're actually interested in based on supply and demand versus ones where we just happen to get some, you know, free currency in going through those training sessions. But you know, free money is still free money, right? We don't want to turn that down ever. So Clover actually had some really good responses to some of these zones. We had, as you can see here on the 1 hour chart last night, we did jump into it, pop out, and then we are getting a little bit more weakness here. On the 15-minute chart, you'll see this one here the first one did not work at all. Second one looks like it's a little bit more strength here. So again, we're just tracking all of these to determine which one of them is going to work, what the rules need to be so that we can accurately and effectively actually supply and demand trade crypto. Actually, Dogecoin, I'm not sure why that one didn't show up, because we definitely looked at that one in the previous one. XLM, sorry, let me down here. Yeah, we've got a couple of good shorts in XLM that we're interested in here on a 240-minute time frame. Overall, you know, sideways trend, so these ones could end up being pretty good zones here. On Anchor, we had let's see here, we have a 15-minute chart. You can see here, right, this one worked for about a 3-to-1 initially, and then depending on where the stop was at, would have worked for a 4-to-1 as well, and now has come down through there. Nothing else of interest on this chart here. And QNT, I think, had a really good 240-minute time frame one, looking pretty good over here. And right below it, we've got a daily one. The price has come very close to multiple times now, and could end up being, you know, a very, very strong one for a bigger move up on this one. FET, there were no zones. Spell, we've got a short on a 240-minute time frame at 0.017. And then IoT, you see we had a really good short-term trade last night as well, up here on the 15-minute time frame, and now prices come back down through it. Probably looking for a bigger move down on IoT, honestly. Back down into, probably down into, maybe down as far low down as like between 7 and 8 cents area, potentially. All right, so we're a couple minutes late here, but